These glasses are giving me a headache. I should get that checked out. Today I want to talk to you about computer science and whether or not you think you would be a suitable person for it. I have only been doing computer science for around 6 months. I started at the start of this year, like the school year, so I started in around September and I've been doing it ever since. I did it in school and also remotely during lockdown. I thought I would just share my experience with it and what skills I think would be very useful if you want to take up computer science. Now, obviously, I'm not a computer science genius or anything like that. I haven't even been doing it for that long. So do take my opinion with a pinch of salt. You know, you might not agree with anything that I say and you might be brilliant at it, or, you know, vice versa. So it's really, I think honestly, you can't judge anything before you try it. So that's probably my number one tip, is to get out there. And I mean, computer science is great because there's so many resources out there that you can already get a head start and figure out if you enjoy doing this. That being said, it is going to be different from a classroom kind of situation, but it still is a good taster to see if that's something that you're interested in. So when I first started computer science, even before I started, the number one concern I had personally was, do you have to be good at maths? Do you have to, you know, be very mathematical and stuff like that? I even went up to my maths teacher and I was like, do you think I can do computer science? She was like, I don't know. But that's what I was really scared about, and that's what I'd ask everyone. I was like, do you need to be good at maths? I'm not really good at maths. Do you need to be good at maths? And luckily, you actually don't really have to. Now, wait a second. You don't have to necessarily be good at maths and doing formulas and all of that, but in a way you do have to think mathematically, because problem solving is a big part of computer science. And even in class, we do these kind of like puzzles and stuff like that. We did the one where it was like 12 Men on an Island from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like, we spent a good 2 classes doing that. So you have to be able to kind of think in that way of like identifying a problem and how to solve it, kind of like puzzles and riddles. There's a lot of that kind of going on. Also, you use it when you're coding as well, when you have an error and you need to kind of decode it and you're like, ooh, where's the error? And you have to like try all these different variations of the code and see if it works and it runs. But you don't necessarily have to be like a top A maths student, but you do have to be in that mindset of slightly mathematical. So second, we have teamwork. Now this is something, if you ask people, they're going to tell you a lot about. They'll be like, there's so much teamwork. And then I remember I would just kind of brush it off. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, okay. There's teamwork and everything. But there really is a lot of teamwork, and it is surprisingly a very social subject in a way. Like, you're working on projects most of the time, which we'll get to, and you have to work in groups. Now, obviously with COVID, it's a bit different now because, you know, you can't really have too many people. But we have these huge whiteboards and then you gather around it, you're kind of writing, you're brainstorming. So you are going to be working with people, and there's no like, oh, I'll take this one by myself. It's all teamwork because, you know, you need to be sharing ideas, and in a way it's actually really helpful because you'll be like staring at a piece of code, you'll be like, what is going on? You'll go to your friend, you'll be like, what is this? Like, why is it not running? And they're like, oh, you forgot a semicolon. And you're like, oh, okay. And you know, it helps a lot. But you've got to be ready for it. Because if you're not really good at teamwork, I don't know if it's gonna work out. Third of all is projects. As I've mentioned, there's so many projects. It feels like it's actually never ending. I think this year there's 4, or in total of the 2 years, there's 4. There's ALTs, which are applied learning tasks. So far, we've only done 2. The first one was ALT 2, which we actually never even finished due to lockdown. It was data and analytics, so you had to pull in a CSV file, turn that into a graph and put it on a website and so on and so forth, which we did in teams. But we did ALT4, which is the microbits, which I actually have over here. This little set, we did a microbit invention, and that was by ourselves because this is the microbit. We had to do it by ourselves because obviously we're in lockdown and you can't really do it with a team, but all of these go towards your summer result, and ultimately they just never end. If you finish one project, you're on another, which can be a bit stressful if you don't like projects like me. I prefer to just do work. I don't really like projects, but it is a part of computer science. It's also not like any other subject you do in school. So, computer science is a science, obviously, but if you do another science like physics, chemistry, biology, it's pretty much not comparable, right? I do chemistry, so you get chemistry homework, you go home, you do it, you write your notes, you're pretty much done. You're good. But with computer science, you're gonna go home, you're gonna start coding, and it'll either take you like 10 minutes off the bat, or it'll take you like 3 hours. You'll be sitting at it and you still won't be able to get it. And sometimes, all it's gonna take you is a nap. Like, you'll get a nap or you'll just sleep and you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, that's what it was the whole time. Or you'll just ask a friend. And that's the thing with computer science, is that you never know how long it's gonna take you or how far you need to do. Because sometimes you'll be like, oh yeah, I can do that for homework. I know what to do. You go home, you open it up and you're like, oh, that's not what I thought it was. Next, do you have to be smart to do computer science? Personally, I don't think so. I'm not the brightest person out there. I do wear glasses, but that's just eye problems. I'm not the smartest person out there, but I do computer science. Do. And I see a lot of people who are very good at that subject, like exceptionally good at it. And yeah, they all are smart, but I know also a lot of smart people who aren't doing as well in it. And it's not to do with how smart you are, it's pretty much all of it is to do with how dedicated you are to it. So you can come in there and do the homework and you'll be fine. You'll pass, you'll be fine. But if you want to be really good at that subject, it is a subject that you do have to spend a lot of time on. Like, you're going to be going home and putting in hours into it. And that's really what makes an exceptional student. It's not, being like, whoa, I got this, like in the movies. It's about working at it every day. And I mean, everyone knows the more you do something, the better you get at it. And that's, I think, why personally I'm not really doing the best in computer science, because I feel like I don't have that drive that a lot of people have for it, and they keep going at it, and then that way they're able to reach so much more and get so much code done and all of that. Also, just quickly to mention, another thing, you're gonna need a slight bit of creativity, which is something I lack. I literally, my brain doesn't work with creative stuff. But, it's not extremely big, but like, when you're starting a project, it'll be like, what do you want to do it on? And you're gonna have to brainstorm and figure it all out. So that's kind of pretty much the only part, and obviously creativity comes in when you're like adding in and stuff like that, but it's not a huge thing. But if you are a little bit creative, definitely helps. Now, I forgot to mention this, but another part of computer science, which I absolutely love, is ethics. So we do spend some time, I absolutely love this, we split the class into two, right? I mean, you get to choose which part you want to be in, and then you sit, and then you just get a sentence, and then you discuss it. It's like the best thing ever. It's obviously not like debate, but still you're kind of bringing forward points, and it's so much fun because you just, you know, it's not really, it doesn't feel like you're stressed and in class. So one that we did was, would you be fine with like your consciousness being put into a robot and being sold to your family? Stuff like that, really interesting stuff, and I really enjoy that because, I don't know, I just really do, and I love arguing with people. So if you like arguing with people, no, but like seriously, you know, it's just fun to debate and like put out your ideas. And ethics is obviously a big thing because, you know, you don't, when you're teaching computer science, you're giving people a lot of information and you don't want them to like become Jeff Bezos, you know. So. And lastly, with computer science, you're never gonna be truly finished. Like I said, you know, with every other subject, okay, I finished this chapter, I'm good to go. With computer science, you're honestly never finished learning. It doesn't matter what level you are at. Like before college, right, you only do like, I think 1 or 2 languages. You don't actually do that much, but you know, you're really never done. You can always be doing more, and that's not even saying like learn a whole new language and all of that. Even just in doing what you're doing, there's always an extra step you can take, which in a way I find a bit stressful because it always makes me feel like I'm not doing enough. Or for something like chemistry, right, I'm like, I did that, I know I did that, I'm fine. But for computer science, I'm always like, well, could I have done more? Could I have done better? That's something you're always going to be questioning. And if you're okay with kind of doing what you feel comfortable with, then I don't think that's a problem. But if you're someone who likes to kind of challenge yourself and push yourself, you're gonna be doing a lot of that. And it might take up a lot of your life, but maybe not. So do you have to be smart to do computer science? No. You just have to be willing to give a lot of time and dedication to it. So that's a thing you have to prepare for. If you feel like you don't have enough time to be sitting at a computer and just typing away, then it's probably not right for you. So yeah, that's been my experience with computer science so far, and that's just kind of what I think are the skills and the mindset that you need to have for computer science. Now, you could have none of those and still be amazing, or you could have all of those and still hate it. That's the thing with computer science. I think you can absolutely love it but be horrible at it, and you can absolutely hate it and be good at it. So there's that. It's really frustrating at times. You're gonna be frustrated, especially when you get errors. Like, sometimes you'll get like, oh, there's an error, okay, let me just change that. And sometimes you're gonna get like A4 pages of errors. It's just, you're not gonna know what the error is, but you're gonna have to figure out what it is. But overall, I think it's really worth it when you do figure out that error and you get it to work. There is nothing like that. It is an absolute euphoria, which is why I would recommend taking computer science. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope I didn't scare you away from computer science. And if I made you want to do it, I mean, you're welcome. I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Or if it's just me watching this for the 20th time while editing, thank you and have a nice day. Do I regret taking computer science?